Okay, let's go ahead and get going. I wanted to thank everyone for attending today. This is the kickoff of TrellisPoint's monthly webinar series, the third Thursday of each month at noon. We will be hosting webinars on a variety of topics. Today will be uh, 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 main speaker of Mike Spence from the team here. He'll be speaking here in a minute on using Microsoft technologies to find and fix ungrowth in your organization. We'll be covering everything from organizational change management to technology implementation and the tech side of things, tips and tricks. So there'll be a variety of different topics that will be offered, but keep your books open for that third Thursday of the month. We will be glad to see you again in the future. My name is Andy Roberts. I have been with TrellisPoint for 5 years now. I am a senior business consultant, solutions consultant here, working with clients to map out and implement solutions to improve their business from a strategic standpoint in using Microsoft technologies. Mike Spence, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself real quick, and then we'll get to the next slide?
Yep, sounds good. Welcome, everyone. Appreciate you spending a little time with us. Mike Spence, I'm the VP of Enterprise Delivery here at TrellisPoint. Get to help organizations think strategically about their business when it comes to growth and how we can use technology, AI, and other things to align people, process, and data to help you achieve your goals.
Excellent, thank you. So a little bit about TrellisPoint for those out there who might not know. We've been implementing Microsoft applications since 1998. So that puts us in the 25-year-old range, if my calculation is right. We've been working with Microsoft CRM specifically since the beta release back in 2001, and we've helped to support and implement other CRM and data solutions along the way. But we made a commitment in 2018 to be focused 100% on Microsoft and Microsoft solutions. And we don't focus only on CRM. We also have other specialties in the Microsoft Dynamics umbrella. We'll get into that in a little bit. But some folks have thought about us historically as a CRM shop, but we offer much, much more. And we're excited to fill you in a little bit about that. We stake our claim on reputation over revenue. So when we're doing work for customers and we need to make things right, we will overlook the revenue side of things and make sure that the client is happy. We want them to be long-term happy customers who are willing and ready to recommend us to other customers or prospects out there. And we really focus on that reputation over revenue. We follow a project methodology for D365 development. Similar to other agile shops, we have a proven solution map, what we call the TPSF or TrellisPoint Success Framework that Mike will talk a little bit about to make sure that we're delivering the right solutions at the right cadence and all the stakeholders are 100% aligned along with TrellisPoint. And next slide, please. And here's a quick overview of our timeline. We were founded as CRM experts. We had some Salesforce consulting, but as I mentioned earlier, in 2018, we became 100% focused on Microsoft solutions. We have an office in Cincinnati. We also have an office in Louisville, and we have folks who are working remote throughout the United States, and we have a team that is continually evolving and growing, so we're in growth mode. We added additional 365 and Power Platform expertise in 2019. We'll talk more about that and what we can offer. And we adopted the growth the strategic way mentality in 2022, which took us, it was that evolution that I mentioned earlier as a company where we saw opportunities to help drive growth, not just from a system standpoint, but also from a business coaching and strategy coaching standpoint. And then in 2023, along with a lot of other Microsoft partners, we started focusing more and more on AI and Copilot, which Mike will talk about a little bit today. And speaking of Mike, let's go ahead and have him take over and drive from here.
Yep. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate that. Yeah. And as Andy said, I mean, most of our team has been around the Microsoft world for such a long time. and our consultants from back from the beta version of CRM and even into, starting in like 98 when all this stuff got going with Microsoft. But it's a collection of that experience that we have on the team and really formalized that around TrellisPoint when we were founded in 2009. And so as we continue to build this company, we're excited about the growth and where things are headed. But when we asked customers, folks we work with quite a bit, is like, what does TrellisPoint do? We would get the common expert, oh, those are the CRM experts, go to those guys if you need CRM, or, they pretty much do everything in Dynamics except for BC, which Business Central or ERP solutions, or, oh, we implement CRM Power Platform, or we are a Microsoft D365 partner. All of those things are true. They're still true today. What some customers that we've had for a long time have started to learn is that we do much, much more than that. And so although we would start with a sales solution, a CRM solution, and maybe extend that with some Power BI reporting, we actually have great stories to tell in and around the entire Power Platform stack, every product in the D365 and the Power Platform and AI now. Some great stories to tell, some great success, teaming up with clients to help them get what they need out of the product. And then, with that Microsoft solution stack that we were really great at as a Microsoft partner and layering on the AI components, it's very powerful. But we found with successful projects, we really needed to make sure that we had some business process management, re-engineering going on, organizational change management, just so we can make sure we're aligning the people part of the equation to the rest of the solution to make sure we are going to line that up with corporate objectives. And then just providing technology leadership as a service, if you will, because as a Microsoft partner, we're getting hands-on maybe way earlier than most of our customers are with, let's say, wave releases, new updates coming through from Microsoft. And instead of our customers having to take the time to weed through all of those things, we actually do that on behalf of our customers to let them know what they can ignore, what they should really pay attention to, and when to implement that, along with licensing reviews. Do you have the correct licensing? But mostly, do you have too much? Where can we optimize so that you are able to spend the correct amount of money with what you need with Microsoft and optimize that whole thing? So there are a lot of things that we do as a Microsoft partner beyond just the implementation of the product, which we're going to talk to you more about here. But we believe that it is all about having strategic growth. And this is what we really are working with a lot of our customers on now. And so what is that? It's a very planned and purposeful expansion of your business and your operations. It's really aimed at increasing revenue, profitability, and long-term viability. And that this type of growth has got to be aligned with your overarching strategic goals. And so what does that really mean is that if we look at the things that your company's trying to achieve, then every role, big corporate initiative, technology implementation, we should be able to draw a direct line from those projects and those initiatives straight to your corporate objective, because a lot of wasted time is spent working on things that are not moving the needle for an organization. So we like to kind of cut through that and help your company figure that out and build a plan around it. So what do? We are helping businesses grow strategically by helping them do exactly that. It's really about organizing, prioritizing, and accomplishing corporate objectives according to a really thoughtful plan. We want to take you from chaos to clarity with that plan, and it's going to absolutely be Microsoft technology focused, but we also make sure that we're going to take in account all of the things that go across an enterprise, third-party products, and other implementations that a company would count on. How are those integrated properly? And then at the end of the day, it's really about helping you grow and innovate in this new digital world. So a lot to build up, but what I like to talk about when it comes to strategic growth and how we help is to tell you a story. So this is, Andy, I think, where we just did you give everyone cocoa? They have a blanket, they can curl up by a fire. And okay, well, picture yourself there. Here in Louisville, it's like 100 degrees today, so I don't want cocoa or that fire. But I'll tell you a quick story. about our hero, because every story's got to have a hero, a guide, like a villain, right? So let's talk about the hero. So our hero is the business leader. These are our customers that we work with all the time. And the great thing about our customers that we get to work with is that they're enjoying year over year record growth. Every technology implementation they've ever done has always gone really, really well. It's all optimized for AI, and they have all of their people, their processes, their data so perfectly aligned that they really don't need a partner, because they just figured it out on their own, and that they believe artificial intelligence is here to stay, and it's going to solve all of humanity's problems. And that's the end of the story. So, Andy, can you do a good record scratch? Because this is where I don't have a sound effect for that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Next time.
All right, good deal. Let me tell you the real story about that hero. And these are the folks that are absolutely working hard every day to try to grow their enterprise. But this is kind of more like it. Maybe not this doom and gloom, but you see that they are just struggling with, maybe they've grown so rapidly with mergers and acquisitions that they are having a hard time with all of these systems that are not integrated. Their data is kind of siloed all over the place. None of the systems are talking to each other, and they have a real hard time getting alignment around their people and their processes. And actually, most of their processes aren't even documented. They really don't have the talent. They don't have the time. They're maybe can't attract the right sort of resources that they need, and they don't really have a partner, at least not one that they can trust. And they believe AI will kill us all in 5 years. So, okay, maybe not that doom and gloom, but you can see that when we show this slide to folks out in the world and we say, hey, are you experiencing any of these business challenges? And what almost all of them have said is all of them, and varying degrees. So at TrellisPoint, understanding that these are the clients we're working with. There are a lot of challenges. Running a business is not for the faint of heart. Leading these things are those brave heroes trying to get this done every day. And so we like to align our solutions to those challenges. And one way we do it is like with flexible and elastic teams, meaning what we can do is, because of a talent gap or shortage, we instead of just bringing in a bunch of folks that are be part of a project, which we can do, we also like to be able to spin up experts for an organization for a short amount of time. They just need that expertise to help lead something or provide guidance, and then we can shrink that team back down once that objective is complete. So that really helps from a budgeting, but also from a just getting things done kind of a perspective, that you have some very seasoned technical experts or even business coach experts that can come in and guide you through a certain portion of a plan and then disengage if you need that. So you can see just kind of along down that list. I won't read those all to you, but if those are some challenges you're facing, and if you see one of those are jumping off the page, I'd love to talk to you more about what we mean by our solutions that get aligned with that. Because the customers that we're working with are typically juggling 1,000 priorities, and we look at their project portfolio, if you will. These are all the initiatives that they're trying to get done, and they've already figured out that these are the, like, say, top 5 or 10 things. If we don't get those done, we're not going to hit our goals. We're not going to be able to grow. But they struggle to scale and grow their business, and sometimes they don't really understand why. There's a lot of good underlying issues that are actually keeping them from doing that, and that's where we like to shine. So what we like to do with this is to understand what are those project portfolios that you're trying to juggle. What are those? Are they ranked? Are they prioritized? Are they in any sort of order? But as we find, most times they're not real sure where to start. And so that's where you need a guide. And your guide in this, of course, is TrellisPoint. So we collaborate with you. You can see outside the window a little bit, Andy, that the lightning's calmed down a little bit. Looks like we're working either late into the night or maybe early in the morning. But there is good collaborative work to do here, right? And what we're trying to do is understand, the business objectives and when all the other things that we have to go into a strategic plan is kind of where we're headed. And the way that we would guide you through that is really helping with some mindset teaching and coaching, because many businesses still today are in this reactive past, meaning that the applications that we used to develop and have back in the day that would then talk to a application platform would sort of just drip in some data to this relational database, very manual entry. And that's where these data silos can start getting created. And you think about that in an older way, like my first car was a Honda CRX, and it was not connected to the internet at all, right? Because it was a long time ago. But the only data that was really captured is maybe my ownership paperwork. Maybe the state knew that I registered the vehicle and I owned it. Maybe the insurance has some data on that. But from a service record standpoint, unless something broke and I took it into a garage to get it fixed, they might put my address and stuff into a system, but they really wouldn't use that data for anything other maybe than to bill me. And so that's a lot of the old model reactive data that we would sort of drip into these databases, where if you fast forward today, where it's more predictive, and where the world we live in today, like the car I drive now is a Chevy Traverse, it's connected to the internet, and there's real-time data, performance data for my vehicle being piped up, satellites are linking up, and I'm getting reports into my email just about if I need an oil change or if I have a tire that's low or any other sorts of things like recalls. So the applications in the world we're living in today is way more predictive. But I'll say that some of the clients that we're working with are still working off systems in that reactive past. They're still manually entering data either into spreadsheets or maybe some on-prem systems that they've known that we need to do something with that at some point, but right now we're just going to kind of live with it. And the more that, AI has now been introduced to the world and data has become more and more important, that it's going to be difficult to run and scale a business if you're stuck there. And so we believe, I know Microsoft believes as well, because this is actually a slide from them, that everything is now really data is at the center of the world. That you have to have good, structured, quality data in order for AI to work, and you have to be in the cloud. So if you look at data, if you believe in the model that data is king, and that your corporate data is something that you really need to make sure is as quality as possible. And if it's the center of everything, then you need these intelligent systems to deliver the experiences to empower your people, transfer products, engage customers, and optimize your operations. So the way that we start down the path of trying to untangle this for an organization is, with Andy mentioned, our TrellisPoint success framework. There's 4 big sections to it, and then we really go through. Sometimes it's quarterly, ideally, but sometimes even more often with an organization, we just take you through a very prescriptive way to start thinking about a strategic growth plan. The very first step of that is this 2-hour discovery, and actually it's free. So if anyone's on the call and says, you know what, I would love for our organization to put the right people in the room, just have a 2-hour discovery. We have our proprietary way of capturing the data by talking with your good cross-section of your organization, your leaders, so that we can look at things like the tech stack, what your corporate objectives are, and then we have a clever way of ranking those in a high impact, high urgency sort of way, low impact, low urgency. So at least then your portfolio is it's captured, it's prioritized, and that we can deliver this strategic tech roadmap back to you, which is really our version of the next step. I mean, these are our recommendations and how you can start down a strategic path with your organization. So again, we do these all the time for customers and prospects for free, just to get started. But I think there's a ton of value in this document that we create for you. So, hit us up if that's something you'd like to do. If you move forward, some of our recommendations, and you need our help, when we get into the decide and design, Microsoft has some prescriptive guides as well that we leverage in the way of success by design. It allows us to help you have a maturity model, if you will, across this and many others, where we can start looking at, okay, what would cause you to not grow and scale or achieve your objectives the way that you're hoping to. And as we go through and be able to report back on this, and we can see kind of red, yellow, green, where are you in different areas, then there are plans that you can put in place to improve these areas. And a lot of times, I'll tell you, it's without our help, that these are things that you just weren't aware of, but you can easily correct those with a little guidance, and then you and your team can take care of it. And of course, if not, we can help you with that as well. So the way that the Microsoft platform gets more introduced into this, we're talking about dynamics and really this power platform. So if you look at, Microsoft 365 products, including like Teams and Outlook and all that, along with Azure and anything in the D365 suite, like customer service, marketing, you can just go down the list, CRM, of course. But now the Microsoft has connected these things together inside of a dataverse, which is this common data model. So if data is going to be king and data is going to be the thing you really need to take care of, you're really structuring that data in a way that is usable by AI, that can be easily connected to other systems within the Microsoft ecosystem and outside with third-party products, other systems that your company thrives on, like be it ServiceNow or something else that's very proprietary that you need to use to accomplish your goals. We take all those things into account because you now can start bringing that data into a very structured common data model along with all of the Microsoft ecosystem and get some tremendous results. So with that, you start thinking about AI and how can AI help us? Well, AI in the way that Microsoft talks through it is in a very responsible way in governance. We have to work with our clients quite a bit on AI or no AI, Copilot or no Copilot. So it's an interesting part of your strategic growth plan that you need to address. You can't just ignore it because AI is everywhere. It's going to continue, and we just need to help our customers understand how they could use it properly. And so we do a lot of consulting around that, just even answering those questions. But this is, for instance, it's a no-code AI cheat sheet. So AI Builder, you can build your own AI within Microsoft's platform, and you can download this actually for free, this cheat sheet. And we'll provide a link to those who've attended so that you can have access to this. But building your own AI within the Microsoft platform is a pretty powerful thing. And then also Copilot. Copilot, when people think about it, is, what really is that at all? And they get confused because there's different versions of Copilot. So if you look at Copilot in a whole, there's Microsoft 365 Copilot, and there's some for D365 separate, along with Power Apps and Copilot for Windows. And so those are all different Copilots that are there to help boost productivity, creativity within those products. But you can extend those yourself or with a partner to just the capability. So you're not stuck with a Copilot as Microsoft's baked it up. You can take those and get all the benefit right out of the box, and you can extend it through low code and some Power Platform opportunities there. But you can also then build your own. So Copilot Studio is pretty cool because then you can just build a Copilot for your organization that would only consume your data. So if you look at a strategic, where this is all rolling is as a sample, like the steps that it would take to go through a strategic growth plan. So once we have all that data, we bring you back to your recommendations. You're ready to go to the decide phase, and we look at how do we align Microsoft technologies in a way that it's going to help you accomplish your corporate objectives. Then we put a plan together of how we're going to do this step by step using organizational change management principles. Let's make sure that everyone from the C-suite all the way down to someone that's an end user, maybe in a different part of the state or nation, that they understand why we're doing it, what are the big reasons this project's going to help me do my job, how is that connected to the success of our organization or my team. So organizational change management up and down the chain. along with improving business processes, along with Microsoft technology, is a way that we can help you go from more of a chaotic situation to a more controlled and a strategic path forward. So then you get to be all rainbows and puppy dogs, right, Andy? I mean, we got this plan. You got your Microsoft stuff lined up. Data couldn't be better. And now thumbs up all around the table. And then that could be the end of the story, except that we have not yet introduced the villain in this whole story, which is what we call ungrowth. Ungrowth is the enemy of strategic growth. So without a plan, you are just reacting in whatever's coming up today, tomorrow. We're worried about the future. We're not real sure how we're going to complete all of these objectives. But if you work with a TrellisPoint, create a strategic goal, you have your Microsoft teams in there helping you get this stuff aligned, that's good. But sometimes when you get this ungrowth creeping in, because I'll tell you, everybody has ungrowth, even the most successful companies. It's a matter of just understanding what it is, how to spot it, how to combat it. And sometimes there's intentional causes, because they say if you just leave it be, it just grows. It goes from a shadowy figure to now it's walking in the door. And there's intentional and unintentional ways that an organization could do this. And an intentional way that you invite ungrowth back into into your organization is that you've developed a plan and you just don't execute on it for whatever reason. Or it's those on-prem systems that you've had around forever, and we really need to get them into the cloud for all the reasons. But we just don't want to think about that right now, and we just kind of let that go on maybe one more year. Maybe those servers won't die for one more year. We make it through one more budget cycle. So those are intentional things, things that you're aware of in your organization, you got to fix, and we just don't do it. But other stuff is very unintentional. We use the example a lot of times where most organizations are not getting the full value out of the technology investments they've already made. So if you look at, like, say, Microsoft 365, if you click on the waffle up in the upper left-hand corner, most cases you're going to see products in whatever subscription you have that you are already paying for that you don't really know what they do. So click on those, understand what they do, because there may be some things operationally that you've been wanting to take advantage of, and maybe you went and bought a third-party product to do it, but you already own technology. Microsoft's already provided some tools, and I use it as an example, Microsoft List. So Microsoft List is pretty straightforward, but it's one of those products that most companies already own that you just don't do much with. And I think that times 1,000 within organizations, there's just things that you're not paying attention to that you could. So now that you know, you can click on the waffle and investigate those. If you choose not to do that, you might be choosing ungrowth, right, Andy? And ungrowth unchecked, it doesn't go away. It just consumes it, and here you go. So if you're working with a TrellisPoint, we put your plans together and you're ready to, go to the next step, and then you end up doing nothing. What you're actually doing, you're undoing all the strategic growth that you've worked so hard on for however many years that you've been building it. So at the end of the day, it's still about aligning up your people, your process, and your data. And we talked quite a bit about data because it is foundational, and there's a lot to do there. But if we get the data and the technology in a way that's structured and it's working well, then you've got to have sound processes that your technology can then support. And you've got to have your roles, the talent and the expertise in those roles that will follow the processes so that we can keep solid data and get the results we want. So bringing those things into alignment is key to the whole thing, and we're very good at helping you do that. Another state of mind that we're trying to really teach out there in the world is this mindset of digital transformation. We believe in that, and a lot of the principles are still valid, but I think the mindset we're trying to shape here is that digital transformation used to be a one-time event. Is that we're going to do all this, we're going to here's our current state, we're going to do a digital transformation so we can get to a future state, and now we're all good. where it's not really a one-time event. It's a digital evolution. With AI coming on board and data as critical as it is, as competition is on the rise, and we're trying to grow and scale businesses, and we're struggling with it, we have to adopt a mindset, we believe, of a digital evolution. We're constantly innovating. And so with this framework that we teach is less about trying to just capture a one-time thing and get you to your high impact, high priority objectives and check those boxes. It is that, and it's about coaching and teaching our customers that, and then go back through that and over until you're now adopting this, always innovating, always going through a digital evolution to make sure that all the hard work you've done is paying off and you're continuing to move the way that you need to. We would just say use a guide. It can be very confusing to do all this. So as a guide, we're here to help point the right way so that you can be smiling and pointing, and like the sun's out now, Andy, all of the thunder has stopped. And I mean, everyone just looks incredibly happy. And if you guys have probably noticed, I'm using all these AI pictures, which I love making fun of because they're just awful in many ways with hands and thumbs. And, but this one's not too bad. This guy's got a little weird eye, but I don't know. So key takeaways: organize, prioritize, and accomplish your corporate objectives using a strategic growth plan. If you don't have one, we would believe you would need one. That data cleaning, the normalization and structuring of that data and governance has never been more important. Most companies, when we say, is your data AI ready? Most companies that we've ever talked to, and the stats really show that almost no company is quite ready for it, because the data you're going to feed into an AI engine is the results you get out of that are only going to be as good as your data. So there's a lot of work that's happening right now to get data normalized and structured in such a way that you can use these systems more efficiently. And there's a very strategic approach for how you would go about getting that done. Of course, align your people, process, and data, get those objectives. And then leverage Microsoft technology to streamline your operations, enhance your decision-making, drive growth, because a lot of ungrowth will just disappear when you start using common data platforms and you start integrating these solutions in a more mindful way to make sure your corporate objectives are being met. And as always, just say no to ungrowth. So, Andy,
Awesome.
went through that in a little bit of record time. Got plenty of time for Q&A if we have any. So.
Good stuff. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, either raise your hand and we can throw the mic your way, or you can add something on the chat. We'll give everybody a minute or two. I think one of the things that I wanted to chime in here on is a lot of times folks will approach us when they have a brand new initiative. You know, they need to implement a sales or field service or customer service solution. But it's never too late to get into this mindset. Say, you know, we get pulled into a lot of projects where things just kind of stalled out. Somebody wasn't happy with a vendor, with how with things, you know, how things were progressing on the project. It's never too late to begin this process, get everything recorded and documented through that discovery process, through that exercise that we walk you through. And at the very least, you sunk, you know, an hour to an hour and a half in focusing on the business with an outside organization who might come in with some good ideas, who want to be a trusted advisor and work with you. There's never a wrong time to be thinking like that. So,
yeah, it's good.
So if you have any other requests or would like to talk to us about anything that was shared in this presentation, hit up TrellisPoint.com. We're on LinkedIn as well, but we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to talk, even for a few minutes, to understand what your organization does and how we could proceed in potentially helping you to unsnarl data in those obstacles that are sitting in your way. So anything else from your end, Mike?
No, that's it. Like I said, the discovery is really the first step. It's free. There's a ton of value in that. So If you'd like to take us up on that offer, just reach out, hit us up on the website, or give us a call. We're happy to do that.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for attending this first session. There'll be another one on a completely different topic a month from now. So have a great remainder of the week. We will be sending you a link to access this presentation afterwards in the next day or two. And with that, we'll go ahead and sign off. Thank you much.
All right. Thank you.